Welcome to ESO Daily. I am your host, Mr. Cribbin. Alright, so I'm still working on my updates for my builds, and today I'm going to be giving my update for my Tesla Coil build. Now, this has become a pretty popular build with some sorcerers. It's not a build for everybody, but it offers a lot of raw damage and controllable points in which you can use this build to your advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and we'll get into the character sheet first. Okay, on staff side, you're going to go ahead and see that my max Magicka is at 43,733. Magicka recovery is at 1320. Maximum health is at 18,923. And below, you'll see spell damage at 2,023, and spell crit is at 49.6. To the left, you're going to go ahead and see Magicka is at 56, health is at 8. Now, you can make these adjustments if you want. I usually like to stay between 19 to 20k on the sorcerer. I'm slightly under, so if you wanted to actually put a couple more points into health, you can do that. Also, you're going to see that we're going to be running the Lover Mundus. Why? Because we're going to need some more penetration. We need to get between 11 to 12k on that pen. Okay, now going to the dual wield side, you're going to go ahead and see our max Magicka is at 44,380. Once again, max health stays the same. Recovery stays the same. Spell damage has gone up to 2,596. And spell crit is at 52.5. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the sets. I'm using Julianos, Kina, and Elegant. So let's go down piece by piece. I'm using the lightning staff of Julianos Nernhone with the increase. The reason being, this is a controllable build, and Nernhone is going to increase the amount of damage. So I'm going to take advantage of this. If you're going to be using this in a group play other than a 4-man, you probably want to opt for the charge, so you can go the charge trait versus the Nernhone. So I would suggest having a charged staff as well, so you can go ahead and apply that status effect more frequently. Also, you're going to go ahead and see I have the Sword of Julianos, main hand Nernhone with increase. We also have Sword of Julianos Precise with recovery. We have the Mulak Kina medium mask infused max Magicka ideal. Kina, let's keep in mind, we're getting the 129 weapon damage. We're getting the 129 spell damage. When I deal damage with 2 consecutive light attacks, I trigger overkill for 6 seconds, which increases the weapon and spell damage by 516, but also increases the cost of my abilities by 20%. That's very important to remember with this build. We also have the Curse of Julianos infused max Magicka ideal. Mulakina Epilots Divine with Stamina. That's probably why my health isn't. So that should be the health glyph. I don't know why I must have had that on another tune, but it should be the health. Also, Elegant Sash, Max Magicka Divines. Gloves of Julianos, Health Divine. Breachers of Julianos, Max Magicka, Infused, Ideal, and Feet of Elegance, Divine, Max Magicka. Now keep in mind what the Elegant set does. Elegant gives the spell damage, Max Magicka increase my light and heavy attack damage by 20%. Also, I have Elegant Necklace, Max Magicka Recovery, Elegant Ring, spell damage, another Elegant Ring, Magicka Recovery. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the skills real quick. Primary bar, Degen. Degeneration is going to be our builder. Why? Because it gives us the major sorcery, plus we activate the passive in the mage guild called Might of the Guild, which gives us Empower. Also, that's a 40% increase. Yes, Degen doesn't deal a lot of damage in this build, but the reason why it's called a builder, it deals damage and then gives us the buff. If we use the inner light, we're going to pay 3,780. The Degen only cost us 1,134. So there's the difference. That's why I like Degen. Plus, keep in mind, with this build, we weave a lot. Our heavy attacks is a nice follow-up in our sequence to our rotation. So we're going to also be able to get healing for 1,995 health, an additional 1,995 health when we're weaving. So we can go ahead, get that light, or sorry, we get that, then the light attacks have a 15% chance to heal 15% of the damage caused. So degen acts as a double effect for us during our weave rotation. So that's another perk for us in this build. Also, we're going to use Endless Fury. Now, the reason I like the Fury versus the Wrath is simple. When I'm in mobs and I'm killing them, I'm restoring Magicka. I proc up heavy. I want a lot of return. That's why it's called the Tesla Coil. Fury is one of the main components that procs the return for me during trash encounters. So I really like this. Crystal Frags. We all know why it's there. We get that chance to proc an instant cast. We're going to utilize it. Bound Ages is going to be on both bars. It's going to go ahead and give us the minor ward and the minor resolve, but the main reason we're going to have it, it's giving us that nice 8% boost to our max Magicka. Inner Light, same thing, both bars. Why? 5% increase with the Major Prophecy. We need that for our crit damage. Our main ultimate is going to be Power Overload. Power Overload in this build is great because the light attacks become heavy attacks, and we're going to deal 23,138 before any procer builder, before Warhorn, and it hits like a truck. Now, when I get Warhorn, Spell Power, Cure, and Combat Prayer, I'm pushing like 50, 51, 52. It is crazy. I love this build, and I love the Power Overload. The reason this build isn't for everybody, because not a lot of players can control the Power Overload. It becomes an art within itself, and Sorcerer is already a hard class to play. Power Overload can sometimes be a little uncontrollable for players. But keep in mind, guys, also, when I'm using the Power Overload, I'm proccing the Akina, and I'm getting that nice boost from the Elegant set. So I'm getting all of the bang for my buck during that phase. On the back bar, we're going to be using the Liquid Lightning. It's going to be our AoE, plus offer synergy to our party. The Unstable Wall of Storm, some people like Blockade. I do not. The reason, if you want Blockade, it's good. But the main thing I like the wall, I'm getting a double effect. I'm getting the initial laydown, and then I'm getting the blow up afterwards. I'm a player who much prefers the unstable wall. That's me personally. If you like Blockade, that's fine. Also, I'm going to use Storm Pulse. Storm Pulse is great proc follow-up with the Endless Fury. Now, Endless Fury, now check this out, guys. It deals 4,153 shock damage, but here's the big deal. If enemies are killed by this ability, if enemies drop below 20% within 4 seconds, it's going to proc the additional 14,000 and then an AoE of 2,685. Well, the thing about the Storm Pulse is it applies the Minor Mangle, reducing my target's health by 10% for 33 seconds. Now, this doesn't work on bosses, but mobs, it definitely works. So I want to go ahead, proc the Fury, so I'll hit with the degen, hit with the Fury, double proc up, lay down my rotation, and hit them with the Pulse. Boom, everything flies, they're dead, explosions happen. Works out great. And then as an alternative, or AoE or mob control ultimate, I use the Thunderous Rage. Really good, it's an awesome ultimate, but, you know, single target, I'm always going to go with the Power Overload. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the champion points, and I will break this down for you guys. Okay, now coming into the Apprentice, we have Elfborn at 28, 1208. Keep in mind this is an indifferent value to the Shadow Mundus. This is why we want to go ahead and make sure that's always up at least to 12.08. If you want to go higher, you can do that, but I really always try to keep this around 1208. Minimal. Elemental Expert, 14%. Don't go any higher because diminishing return. We do have a few dots, but ideally this is a burst build. So we want to stack more into our burst, but the Elemental Expert gives us the allocation towards dot damage and direct damage. So it's our base modifier for both effects. Spell Erosion, we do have some penetration, but keep in mind we want to get at least between 10 to 11 in our penetrating values, so we're going to put some points into that at 2,388, keeping in mind that we do have the passive for light armor, and we also are running the Lover Mundus. Staff Expert is at 10.36. Like I said, we weave very heavy with this build. So I want to go ahead, capitalize on the Staff Expert because I'm going to be dealing damage with the staff. But once again, this is direct damage build. So I want to pump up Master at Arms as much as possible without going over that value because of diminishing rate. So we're going to go 72 at Master at Arms. That leaves us a few points left, so we go 13 points in the Thaumaturge because we do have some dots. Now a lot of people will be like, why not Exploiter? Well, I don't want Exploiter, I want the Butcher instead. The Butcher for me is the better passive for this build specifically. The reason being, when they hit below that 25%, I'm getting the 5% increase to my power overload. So yes, it's only lighter or heavy attacks, but I'm using power overload, so I want to use the Butcher. Okay, Ironclad's at 1208. We have Hardy and Elemental Defender split at 1208. I am not a vampire. If you were going to be a vampire with this build, you can do that. You just want a little bit more points into your Elemental Defender. I had 2 points left. I put in Light Armor Focus. Thick Skin is at 1022. And, of course, I do sometimes switch out Pulse for my ward. So Bastion's at 1208 just in case I need it, depending on the content. And then I have Quick Recovery at 909. Coming over to the Thief, into the tower, I have 904 into Warlord. 2 points in the Sprinter. We have 75 points in the Arcanist, but we only have 1312 in Tenacity. Usually I take this up to about 14%, but given the fact that I'm weaving more consecutively with this build, I don't need that extra 1%. I can take that value and allocate it somewhere else. But Healthy, we're going to put at 909, and we're going to put Tumbling into 8.23 and Shadow Ward 611, and that is how the champion points are allocated. So there you guys have it. I'm going to go ahead. I don't know what the dailies are. I'm going to try to do this before my stream. Let me check the time here really quick. Yeah, I might have a few minutes. I'm trying to do this before I have to wake up my kids. Let's see what we got. She'll show up.
Army of.
Not so easy.
The lava.
Might need the shields on this one, so on the last boss. But we won't change it yet. Alright. Moira Sewers and Blessed Crucible. Reapply my food buff. Running a little low on the pots. Okay, so the big deal here. I'm going to try to do this without completely destroying them. But ideally what I want to do is just, for example, okay. Okay, I fucked up on that. Forgot to lay down the other one. Alright. You want to get both down. 1 second. Okay, that's cool. I thought I was in this channel. Okay. Hey, I'm not that good with sometimes these rotations. Sword can be a little hard to play. Take it down. Oh shit. Alright, messed up. Okay, we're getting ready for the power overload. Okay, once again I want to hit that degen. No war horn. It's unfortunate. What do I got with me? The healer's only so much. Tank probably doesn't have war horn. Some people don't like the PvP. Oh shit.
Have you come to meddle as well? Could always use more corrosives.
One thing I like about the power overload, I can control it. Or I mean, Kina. This is why you always kill the ads first. Ah, shit.
to kill these interlopers.
Sure. Oh shit, I'm putting power overload. I wanted to get out of that. My bad. Res the... I was about to say... God dang, yo. Templars. Templars. Let me give you some advice. Fucking get combat prayer. Get the fuck out of healing if you don't. Get fucking your fucking ores up there. You don't need Resto Destro to apply the magic drain. Telling you. It's more common than you think with Templars these days. Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Negative shards, though, are good for something, I guess. That dude is so fucking weak. Hold on. One second. Might as well ask. What the... Another thing I can do is hit the overkill, then pop the ulti. It's kind of a nice option as well. What in the fuck? Hate these mechanics. Doesn't look like this tank is fucking here Pierce either. What the fuck is this? I gotta deal with this shit on a daily fucking basis. Pardon? Dumb fucks. No! Of course he fucking doesn't! No, it's... Oh my god. Well, while they're doing that, we'll be here for a while. I'm gonna check the questions. Great. Morning Rock. Another combat healer, another Templar hit without combat prayer shards. They have shards, they don't have combat prayer. Morning Robert. This is going to upset my morning routine at work. What am I supposed to watch? No, I'll be back on, Robert. I'm trying to get this build update out. So I'm doing 2 streams. I'm trying to get build updates out this week. So I have a lot on my plate. So I'm just trying to get this done prior to my regular show. But I have, it looks like my tank isn't running Pierce. I think he's running Ransack. The reason I can tell, I'm losing a shitload of DPS. Not just a little bit, a lot. I have a Templar not running Combat Prayer or Aura. I don't know what's up with Templars these days. I really don't. Like, it's sad. Like, the Templars are beyond lost. And it's not even hard. It's like... What is going on with you guys? Like, what is going on with the Templars? Like, seriously, guys, it's not that fucking hard. Like, I honestly do not know what is up with Templars. They have the best utilities in the game, and guess what? They're not using them. We have Templars running shards and orbs at the same time. Don't know what the fuck they're smoking. We have Templars not using their aura, which is one of the most powerful delivery systems of minor magic steel. And then they're fucking not running combat prayer. Why in the fuck are you a healer if you're not running combat prayer? Is my question. I'm like, oh my god. These Templars these days. And it is Templars majority of the time. You know why? Because the Wardens, which is your secondary healers these days, you can be anything. But the Wardens grab orbs typically, like, as soon as they get them unlocked. They're like, I need orbs. Because they want the healing orbs. You know? So you know it's in their kit, usually. I put Aura on for dungeons. Yeah, but they're not doing it, Robert. I agree. Yeah, totally. What do you think of the changes to the Eclipse? I don't know. I haven't... I think it's cool, but I haven't got to play with it a lot. And I never liked how clunky it was in a rotation. Like, PvP, it was always good. But PvE, I have yet to try it in a PvE build. So I really can't give you an honest answer of how well it works in PvE application, Because when I ever used Eclipse, I was like, well, fuck it, I'm going to use it for PvP. In PvP, it made more sense. So, you know, I don't know, man. It'd be nice if you could get it in a PvE rotation. Definitely. These guys. Are you guys seeing it, Deeps? My HP is trash. At least he's honest. I wonder if I can switch out my skill or if it just says I'm in combat. I'm gonna switch that out real quick. Sweet. Go with the shield. Now I'll use the empowering ward on this build. So this button on my staff side is kind of an optional thing. I can put in pulse. I can put in my shield. I can put in frag. My friggin' dark magic. I can even go with my encase if I want to, or whatever. I could. That's my option. My optional slotted spots, as I like to call it. Let's see what time it is. Jesus. Now if I switch this on, just give him... Why would this dumbass go pull shit up there? Think it's dead there, bud. Some of the targeting or something seems a little off. I don't know what the fuck's been going on. Okay, I gotta wake up my kids after this next boss. Hopefully it's not gonna take that long. Once again. I don't know what this tank's doing. I can't even gauge what he's doing. It's just like... He's in there, I'm out here, I'm like, somebody's down there, I don't even know. What the fuck is this? Jeez, my fucking tasers! Just hold still, you dumb fucks! Look at this, man. It's like some of these things don't move and the targeting sucks. Ugh. I don't know what in the fuck. Like usually if you kite around the corners, they'll move a little bit. This tank is really getting on my nerves. No, I couldn't see that happening. What? Stop moving. She'll come to you. Stop. She comes back, you dumb fucking tank. You're making my job so much harder. You're a tank. Just don't move. When she teleports, she comes back. I'm waiting for this dumb fuck to do something stupid like move again. Fuck that one up. Get off me, you stupid bitch. Fucking hard cast. I fucked that one up. There we go. Why does it keep moving around? Dude's gonna die again as soon as she pops out. I'm more accustomed to this than most people would think. Why is the healer all the way over there? Nice timing. Okay, with a couple more. There's 43. A nice battle warhorn and a nice big fat combat prayer buff. Gold. Wow. We get through it. Sure. Yay. Okay. So I hit about 36 on the low, 42 on the high. That's with no war horn and no combat prayer buff. So 42 on a high, that's pretty decent, but I can get over 50 with everything applied. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you can't anticipate on pugs who's going to have what, and especially with, I don't know, no comment. Anyways, I got to get going, guys. I will be back on in a little bit. Save ultimate, so for the bat and swarm, yeah. Well, I was trying to do it before. I was trying to time it right, but yeah, my timing was off. I was thinking, oh, this should be about the time, but yeah, I was way off. I was fuck off. Oh, am I losing my mind, or are the enemies using guard in Clockwork City? You know, I never paid attention to it, actually, now that you mentioned that. I'm going to have to check that out. But I will be back on in a little bit. I got to go wake up my kids, but if anybody has any questions or comments about the build, post below. I want to thank everybody for watching, and once again and always, have a nice day.